Welcome back to the LBP speedrunning guide. Today we're going through the second level of the gardens, Get a Grip. Before you even start the level, there's a bug you can abuse to save a small amount of time. While it doesn't save much in this level, it'll save a second or two later in the run. When you start loading the level, pause the game. This skips the transition from the pod into the level. A side effect of this is that any nearby magic mouths will get completely deactivated for a short period. So this can save a bit of time in some places. Anyway, as soon as the level starts, if you did the pause strat, you can walk right past the king. Otherwise, you'll have to dialogue jump. Get onto the sponge and edge jump from it onto the brick wall. Walk off so you can land just before the white block to start pushing it. Push it across and do 3 well-timed jumps to make it over the next brick wall. You can avoid pushing the block by doing an LCJ off of the smaller green block, but this is only slightly faster even if you do it while moving. It's a lot more challenging, so it's not really worth going for in runs. Jump or walk off of the platform and start pulling the bottom right corner of the triangle to pull it over to the next wall. Don't pull it for too long or you'll end up changing layers when it pushes you into the wall. From here you can jump towards the middle of the platform, start running back to the right, and as it starts to tip over, you can get a jump that'll make it over the wall. If you're having trouble, you can just tip the triangle over to have a straight ramp up as intended. It's just a bit slow. As you reach the horse, start pushing it from its left side and do a leapfrog jump just before it reaches the hill. A leapfrog jump being where you jump and then tap R1 for a split second to pull yourself towards the object. If this is too difficult at first, just pull it from the right and jump on normally. When dismounting the horse, there's a few options. The first is to grab the next horse and pull it over to the wall as intended. The second is to use the momentum from the horse to get to the wall immediately, to then do a banana jump over it. This method is considerably faster, but only if you get it within the first few attempts. You can even use your momentum from the horse to do the jump straight away without really lining it up. Then in individual, or isolated level runs, ILs for short, there's a very difficult jump where you trip over this hump in the ground and save your momentum while jumping over the wall. You only lose a few seconds if you miss it, but because of its difficulty, it's not really worth going for. Anyway, edge jump off the higher platform, push the next green block to the right, and edge jump off to land in this small pit. You can RCJ off of either of these corners to easily make it up into the missing space in the higher platform. The lower corner can be faster, but it's more challenging. Once you're up, edge jump off the top of the hill and slope jump down to the next challenging jump. Here you'll want to do a trip jump over this wall. Start a jump and land a bit to the left of the base, running into it. Then when you tilt back up, start moving left and then back to the right, as if you're doing a banana jump. If you can't make it all the way up, you can at least try to activate the checkpoint. From there you can hold to retry, and you'll be spawned on top of the wall. It's also possible to do an edge jump or an RCJ off of the ramp just before the wall, but it might be a bit harder to set up. There's a trick here called sponge skip, where if you get a lucky edge jump off of the platform that the checkpoint is on, you can land on the sponge, jump across all 3 and make it all the way to the top of the building. There's also a backup for this where you LCJ off of the horse onto the second sponge, which might actually be worth getting consistent at. You can make it up here with a tricky bounce RCJ or a co-op jump, but those aren't really viable for this run. And when you jump from the third sponge, you can swing across the tree if your jump wasn't quite good enough. You can then push across the green block in the middle layer to skip grabbing the sponge here as well. Otherwise, if you don't get the skip, it's mostly intended. Swing across the sponges into the building, but don't bother moving the first seesaw as you can make the jump where it is. You can slope jump from it too to save extra time. You'll need to push the second one down so you can make it up to the next section, then swing across the sponge. Time a dialogue jump to make it over the top of the hill, run towards the queen to do another dialogue jump, and then collect the tail decoration. Jump onto the horse and place the tail as fast as you can. You can always try to pull the horse faster, but it's fine just to hold on and go at that speed. Once the race gate starts to come on screen, jump towards it to start the countdown, but don't jump off too early or else the horse might get left behind. The idea is to leave it with just enough speed so the race gate opens right before the horse runs into it. When the horse makes it to the race gate, jump back onto it and start rolling down the hill. You can jump off the horse before it goes over the first ramp to do some strategic bunny hopping all the way to the scoreboard. The next fastest and easiest strat is to get a fling as the horse goes over the second ramp by timing a jump to clear the mushroom. The safest but slowest way is to ride the horse to the end, but drop down a layer before it crashes, and then bunny hop to the scoreboard. The king doesn't open a cutscene camera here, so you don't have to worry about dialogue jumping. Quit early while reaching the scoreboard, and that's all of Get a Grip. See you next time at Skate to Victory.